Oh yes, we all saw this video coming, particularly from me. It's the new latest trend in misandry, and if you don't know what misandry means, here you go. That is right. It is literally misogyny, but the female to male version of it. So, as I was saying before, the new sexist, misandrist, gynocentric, aka man-hating trend in today's society, because that is what today's society is all about, is about hating men, viewing men as the enemies and perverts and all this other stuff. So, it's only natural, and I foresaw this, by the way, that females in gyms would start something like this.
So I want to give my perspective on this video. Why did this man look at you? Well, you're on the track, you're getting ready to hit a set of walking lunges, he's crossing your path, he's looking at you because he doesn't want to get in your way and he doesn't want to hit you. I would compare this to crossing the street. Once he does cross your path, he doesn't stop, stare, talk to you, he just goes about his workout. Also, maybe he's just people watching, lost in thought, looking at you wondering, what is she doing? This is pretty normal. Gyms are shared spaces. People are going to look at you. I look at people all the time. Everybody does. And by the way, you would have never even known that this man was looking at you if you weren't filming. But you're comfortable filming a video for the entire internet to see. But what makes you upset, what makes you uncomfortable is somebody in person that looks at you for a brief second to the point where you feel you can post that video online, shame that man, label him a gym creep just so you can get some likes and attention. Really? You need to do better. Mind your own business.
Because it's only natural. When you brainwash a society, culture, humans in general, to hate men, this is the result.
Welcome back to the comment section. I'm Brett Cooper. A couple of weeks ago, we talked about a video that went viral of a girl working out at the gym. She got pissed off that a man working out near her glanced in her general direction. She made multiple videos about it. She was saying that she was an underage 21-year-old. Still does not make any sense, that he was a creep, that she was being profiled. And then we all come to find out she's an OnlyFans model. So the only reason she was actually pissed was because he glanced in her general direction without paying her. The entire thing was absolutely absurd. I loved filming that video because it was just so funny and you guys had a great response. So I loved reading the comments on that. We're back with another part of this story, not exactly with that same girl, but with a supporting character in that narrative, basically. So we're going to talk about that today. One of the biggest voices to speak out about that video, the girl, the OnlyFans influencer, whatever, was Joey Swoll. He is a fitness influencer with 6.5 million followers on TikTok, and this is the video that he posted in response to her. It went viral on Twitter and on TikTok. Here we go.
This is how to not approach girls at the gym.
I hate this. I hate when there's sweet days. It makes me so uncomfortable. Feral, like...
She's so absurd.
The 5 adds 5 pounds. And these other weights. Excuse me? You don't have to do that. It's okay.
So he's helping her.
No, it's okay. I got it. Thank you, though.
You have to stop and look at this. So this is where she says he's going to jail for staring at an underage 21-year-old because apparently she looks like a child. She wants to rip his pee-pee out of its socket so he can never reproduce. Like, literally all he did was glance at her and offer to help. That's the reason why I made an entire freaking video about that, because it's absurd. Anyway, this is what Joey has to say.
I just want to share my perspective on this video. If you guys want to watch the full thing, you can go over to her page. First and foremost, as I've said before, there is a big difference between staring at somebody and simply looking or glancing at them. So why did this man look at you? Well, you're in front of him off to the side, you're in his peripheral. You're also taking a video with your camera pointed directly at him and you're talking to yourself. He's probably watching you wondering, what is she doing? I know I would. Also, you talk about, why would this man come over and help me load my plates? Well, if you watch the video, he sees that you struggle putting plates on the other side. Now, any experienced lifter out there knows when you have a barbell on the ground, if you're doing hip thrusts, if you're doing deadlifts, it's very difficult to put plates on. There's actually a jack they make for you to be able to lift up the barbell so you can put the plates on. He sees that you struggled being an experienced lifter, and he comes over to try and help you because that's what kind people do. Any experienced lifter out there knows what I'm talking about. And I saw the comment where you guys talk about this was a man trying to help out a woman because a man would never help a man. That's not true. This is not misogynist. I've been in the gym for 20 years. I can't tell you how many times I've helped men and women load plates, take plates off, put weights back. It has nothing to do with sex or gender.
He's so
you
good.
help people because it's kind to do. But it's very sad that you took an act of kindness, this man doing something for you, being kind, and turned him into a creep at the gym, talking about how you want to rip his reproductive organ off, he can't produce, and that natural selection should take him out? Really? Trying to make yourself out to be a victim, which you're not. There are women harassed in gyms. You're not one of them. You need to do better.
God, he is so good. The fact that he had to make that video and explain how glancing works is insane. Because like he said, she was literally basically in front of him. She was talking to herself. She was making weird faces at him. He noticed a camera. She was struggling. Like, your hatred of men is that ingrained in you that you cannot have any kind of common sense or rationality about a normal real life situation that everybody deals with. I stare at people all the time. I love people watching. People probably think I'm weird because I'll sit on a freaking park bench and watch people walk by. Everybody does that.
So, anyway, we've all seen the videos, I'm sure. If you're watching this video, you've already seen the video, but, you know, about the stupid, feministic, gynocentric, insecure, full of herself, smug, arrogant bitch of a female that was falsely claiming that men were being perverted and staring at her and all these other false accusations. Similarly, it is unfortunate because just like with the females who falsify rape claims, this also discredits females when they claim that men are being perverted towards them in the gym or unnecessarily being this or that way towards them. So as much as these females want attention for their claims, they're also at the same time discrediting the real bad people out there and the real victims out there to these unfortunate events that they are trying to get likes and attention from by falsifying these claims. But ultimately what it comes down to is feminism, gynocentrism, and misandry have been so deeply ingrained in today's society and culture that this is the result. Spoiled fucking females. Entitled fucking females. Females who are just the epitome of arrogance and pride and ego. This used to be a claim specifically only catered towards males, but it is hard to deny that the nowadays females have all this, what they would refer to in men as toxic masculinity, but it is in themselves, so I guess we have to call it toxic femininity. But nevertheless, these claims that males were always these egotistical, prideful, sons of bitches, well, now we're seeing it in today's females more than ever before. Wonder how that happened, right? So, like I was saying, this misandry and man-hating gynocentrism has now crept, and entered into the gyms of America. And now we have a new trend of man-hating, which is falsifying claims of men being perverts in the gym. And, you know, it's just like, what do you expect? You encourage gynocentrism, you encourage feminism, you encourage misandry. What do you think's gonna happen? The more that we let these females think they can run the fucking world and run everything into the ground because they're the superior gender and the superior people of the world, the more this shit's gonna happen. And all these beta males will continue to let it happen. And all these online warriors, all they're gonna do is, you know, harass these dumb females, but that's about it. They won't do anything beyond that. Like, yeah, it's one thing to make fun of her by commenting on her video and shit, but you actually got to take action. You actually got to do something. You got to go as far as these extremist females are going to regain some sort of stability and equalization here, because it's females up here and males down here when it comes to cultural and societal advantages. And while this has always been at least somewhat prevalent in society, it's never been such a far discrepancy before. It's always been, you know, something like this, but now it's more like this. And the more power that females get, the more that they will abuse this power. You see where I'm going here? And you're only seeing this more and more. We see it in the WWE. They're becoming more gynocentric. We're seeing it with Traverse City, with their whole Grand Traverse Woman and this Uber that's only for females, called like, I forget what it's called, but Transport Her or something along those lines. But it's specifically catered towards females only, which is sexist and inherently misandrist. I used to have this saying where I would say these are the KKK of the genders, because it's basically racism, but instead of skin color, it's gender. Sexist racism kind of thing, you know, kind of mixing the two in there. Because when you have only a water fountain for the whites, that's a bad thing, right? But when you have a parking lot specifically only for females, that's okay. You see where I'm going here? They are the KKK of the genders. When you have a transport service that's only specific for females, it's okay. But if you're only to have a transport service specifically for whites, boo! Are you catching my point here? It's sexism on steroids to the point of basically being racism, but of the genders. Henceforth, these females, a lot of nowadays females, are the KKK of the genders. And it only further goes, you know, into what the collective point of this video is. And it's this trend of females who are just literally brainwashed and embedded with literal misandry, man-hating ideals and characteristics. Like, they are basically born out of the womb hating men because they're indoctrinated by it. They're brainwashed by it. They are taught this ideology. And society only encourages this behavior, so no one's saying, this is fucking wrong, knock it off. And then there's all these beta males that are so desperate for female attention and company that they won't fucking do anything about it either. You know? And the ones that do, they're called incels, or they're derogatorily called whatever else names, that slang that's out there nowadays. So it's just like, you can't win if you're a regular old Joe male that has common sense, logical thinking, and critical thinking. You're just outcasted by society and ostracized as being this mean person or whatever, and labeled as whatever slang out there to try to discourage men from speaking up and saying these frankly honest and factual things. But to bring the point here, the main point of this video here is that this gym trend is only going to result in two things. One, it's going to discredit the legitimate females who legitimately are complaining about legitimate scenarios of perversion and harassment. The next thing is that it's only starting a toxic, yes, toxic trend of yet another way to man-hate and display misandry at the cost of men being hated upon and assumed and judged as being these creeps and perverts and so on and so forth for the gain of social media attention. Is it really worth it? Well, obviously for the females, they're going to be like, oh yeah it is. But for men, we're going to be like, obviously it's not. Because you could be some everyday Joe, just minding your own business, and you see a female in distress, and next thing you know, you're plastered all over the fucking internet, and nobody really wants that, unless it's well-deserved, of course, but this should not even be a video that I'm making, but yet here I am because of today's society and culture. But nevertheless, it's just like unreal. I cannot believe that misandry really has gotten this far as I predicted it would. Like, sometimes I don't like being right. Sometimes it's actually a bad thing. So yeah, it's just like, I can kind of relate but not really relate, because when I'm in the gym, as someone who's gone through a lot of shit in his life, and as a combat specialist in the martial arts world, I'm very keen on keeping aware of my environment. I'm always looking around. I'm always looking at people. What are they doing? Are they showing signs that they may do something stupid? Or if they're going to pull out a weapon, or if they're going to do this or do that. So I'm always observing my environment. You may call it hypervigilance if you want, but I'll leave that to you. But it doesn't change the fact of the matter that I am simply checking my environment out, people watching, as some may call it, for the sole purpose of knowing what's going on in my environment. It's being situationally aware. And so, as someone who is consistently scanning my environment and the individuals in said environment, the last thing I want to do is find myself being unfairly plastered on the internet because of me simply scanning my environment, because of me simply looking at someone and wondering what they're doing and observing what they're doing. To think that you could be simply helping somebody out, or simply scanning your environment, or otherwise, and then next thing you know, you're getting all this hate and all these dumbasses who blindly believe a female hating on you, and you're just like, really? And even the legendary Joey Swoll, he's getting unnecessary hate as well, and it just shows that misandry is a real thing, and the war on males is a real fucking thing. So I'll just leave it on that. So until next time.